Colorado. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to your Monday, December 2nd edition of Good Morning Vail. I'm your in-studio host, Julio Garcia, and I'll be joining you this morning where we've got a very festive show prepared for you. It's only the second day of December, but we're getting ready for the holidays, and we're going to be in the kitchen sharing you many different delicious recipes that you can make for your next holiday party. We're going to be making some cherry bombs, peppermint bark, and a healthy alternative of fudge. And we're also going to wrap up the show giving you some insight and some tips on how to stay safe while you drive out in the roads this holiday season. So sit back, grab your cup of coffee, and enjoy as we kick off this Monday edition of Good Morning Vail.
Things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail.
Did you know that all Eagle County residents and visitors can get a free Eagle Valley Library District card? All you need is a photo ID. You get our online databases and resources, free music, free streaming, all from wherever you have internet access. Free audiobooks and e-audiobooks straight to your phone. Go into your Eagle Valley Library District branch today and get your library card.
This show looks at anything that has an engine and a story told by the owners. This is a scooter. Have you had it the whole time?
I have not. It's actually the third time I've owned the car.
Sell regret, sell regret. To the actual prototype GT40, I got to sit in that car.
Oh, I gotta give me one of these, man.
We've got all the muscle, the speed, and the stories.
I got stage 4 cancer. A bunch of friends came together and decided that this thing needed to get done then. A lot of friends came together and made this thing happen.
Hey, if it has an engine and a story, you're going to hear about it on rides. Almost every vehicle, doesn't matter what walk of life you're from, there's some tie to your past.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. If you are looking for your perfect treat for your next holiday party, Kim and I got in the kitchen and made some delicious cherry bombs, which is the perfect sweet little treat, and you can get very creative with it. So let's go into the kitchen and see how we prepared these delicious cherry bombs.
Welcome back to the show. Now, Julio and I love getting in the kitchen
Yes, we
on
do.
both Conexión Latina and Good Morning Vail, and I'm so excited about this partnership because we are making some fun Christmas cherry bombs, which are a delicious little treat if you're having a holiday party. We're going to give them away as gifts.
It looks very exciting, Kim. Thank you for inviting me. Like you said, we're always both of us doing stuff in the kitchen, so being able to do something together is very fun. And all the ingredients look nice and festive with the sprinkles, the cherries, so I'm excited.
Who doesn't love glitter and sparkles
Right,
and
exactly.
bright colors at the holiday season?
Exactly.
So we're going to go ahead and get started. It's super simple. You need sprinkles.
Yes.
You need maraschino cherries.
Okay.
And then white chocolate, and you want to melt it. So the hardest part, I would say, is the white chocolate and how to
Yes.
melt it. White chocolate is a very delicate ingredient.
Okay.
So you want to make sure that you are either double boiling it or you're like microblasting it in the microwave at like 10-second increments because it has properties that allow it to separate if you're not monitoring the heat.
I have had some experience like that.
So you know all about it, right? So we have a double boiler action going on here, and it's pretty simple. You just put a, you either do like glass, you just don't want the chocolate to be on the direct heat surface.
Right.
So we've got it set to about medium low.
Okay.
We have about 2 inches of water in our pot, and we're just gonna simply pour the chocolate in here.
Kind of eyeball it.
Eyeball it, you know, we're making, it depends on how many, right?
Yes.
You know, one of, this is a really great Christmas treat, and you can give it away as gifts. So if you're making like a whole jar of cherries, we've got probably about a half a jar here. You just kind of eye it and
Perfect.
decide what
Yeah.
you want to do. I would recommend, and this is not a brand plug, but I prefer the Nestle chocolates.
Yes, you
white
were saying
chocolate,
it's-
regular chocolate.
They're easier to melt.
Easier to melt, much better than some of the higher end brands.
Okay.
But we're just kind of letting it melt here a little bit. It's going to take a minute, so we'll just stir it. You just want to make sure now, if you have a bowl that fits your pot, it won't be bouncing all over the place.
Yes.
But you know, right now you can see the chocolate starting to melt.
I do see that it's
Yep.
kind of already starting to melt.
So if you've got something like that, you can always just use an additional, just to make sure that
Some
it stays
stability.
in place. Yeah, we're just going to keep melting it, keep going. But in front of us, we have
Yes,
several
we've got all the
options.
ingredients, and it seems very easy. Don't need lots of ingredients, Kim.
You don't.
Most of us have sprinkles at home, so we can just kind of use them. So we've got, as Kim mentioned, we've got some of our cherries here. We've got sprinkles. Today, Kim and I decided to go with a couple different variations.
Yeah.
We've got the red and green for some of that holiday spirit, as you can see there. Just kind of mix some red and green sprinkles.
Yep.
We're doing blue. I think that's kind of giving winter vibes.
It is,
right, with
yeah.
the blue.
Blue for, you know, Hanukkah, winter,
Yes.
New Year's, winter, you know, it's just
And
great.
then we're kind of going a little crazy here with all the rainbow sprinkles just for some added fun.
Added fun, you know, it gives a little bit of texture and variety in your cherries.
Yes.
So we're just kind of monitoring this chocolate. We're like
Okay.
letting it melt. One of the things that you can do with white chocolate is add some coconut oil to it.
Okay.
And it kind of helps meld everything together. But we're just going to turn the heat up a little bit more in the essence of time, so it melts
Yes,
a little
that'll
bit
kind of
faster
help
here.
us melt a little faster.
And we're watching it. We'll stir it a little bit, making sure that it doesn't burn.
All right.
But you know, you just want to make sure that you got everything set up. So I would typically recommend a maraschino cherry
Okay.
with a stem.
Yes,
Makes
ours
sense.
don't have stems
Ours
today.
don't have stems today, but that's okay because you can use a toothpick or just simply a fork and
Yes.
spoon. And it's really easy Christmas thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you have any fun Christmas traditions
I
or
was
things?
not traditions, but I was going to say I have a holiday party I'm going to this weekend. So I
Okay.
think that you're already giving me ideas on what to bring because we're all bringing, a little treat or something to share. So I think I might be making this for this weekend.
Absolutely, and it's a great one to make. Now,
Yeah.
if you're going to a holiday party and it's adults,
I was gonna say,
adults
yep.
only, you can turn it up a notch. And I would recommend soaking your cherries in a vanilla vodka or a flavored vodka overnight. Something that pairs well with the cherry flavor.
Absolutely.
You just soak it in there, so it's a fun little,
just take it up a notch.
fun little treat of
Yes.
flavor bomb in your mouth.
And it'll be a surprise for the guests too.
It will. You have to warn them, check their IDs, make sure they're
Exactly.
21 and above.
Yes.
But we're just making sure this chocolate is melting. It's slowly starting to melt here. So
Okay.
one of the tricks that you can do, coconut oil is a good one. And I don't want to get chocolate all over the place, so I'll set these here. But one of the things that you can do is add a little bit of water to the chocolate itself, or oil. Oil's usually best, but what it'll do is it'll add a little bit more, I guess you could say like liquid,
Yes.
so it's consistent. It just
It'll
gives
make it a little bit easier to work with too.
and a nice light coating. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. So you've got this Christmas party.
Yes.
You might be making these cherry bombs.
Yes.
What other ideas did you have in mind?
Well, I don't know. I think we are also doing a white elephant, so that's always fun.
That's a great one.
I think that's kind of a family and friend tradition at my house. And today we usually do, like regular gifts that people will actually use and enjoy. But today we're going with a more traditional, funny white elephant gift. So I'm still brainstorming some ideas on what to bring to make it, funny. And
I love a good white elephant. Now, as you can see, the water is heating up a little bit more, so
Yes.
we're going to drop that temperature down, but it's made our white chocolate really melt, and especially with that extra added water, because we just want it to be nice and I'd say not super thick, because you want to dip it just a light coating
Yes.
on those cherries here.
Perfect.
So we're almost there. We're getting ready to dip it. Once you dip it, that's the fun part. You just kind of keep rolling until you
And
decide
then it
you've
goes
got
fast
enough.
from there, yeah.
It
And
does.
it's starting to smell good. But you can kind of start to smell that white chocolate in the kitchen, and
I
it's
think,
starting to come together.
Yeah, I think we're gonna. What do you think? You think
We're
we should go
looking
ahead and give it
ready.
a shot and try?
You can give it a shot.
Let's give it a shot. We've got
Roll the sleeves up.
get those sleeves nice and rolled up. Chocolate's nice and melted. We're gonna make sure to get it out of this whisk so that we have as much chocolate as
For our
possible.
cherries. Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna do the dipping, and you
Give
can
you a
do
fork.
the rolling.
I will do that. I'll
and
move
we'll
these
see
out of the
what
way.
we decide to do and what kind of fun combinations
Okay.
we're going. So you literally just need to dip it just a little bit, and of course I dropped it in here. Oh, there we go. That's why it's much easier to do this with cherries that have
A stem
a
on.
stem. But you just do a quick little twist. All right. Let's see how this looks. You can just kind of roll it up the side here. And it
It'll
really
kinda
doesn't have to be
grow.
perfect.
As long as we've got some chocolate on there,
Yeah.
that'll give something for our sprinkles to stick on. I'm going to go right into the festive green and red here. I'm just going to kind of roll. Am I doing this right,
You're
Kim?
doing it right. It looks great
Just
to me. I
kinda
don't think there's a wrong way to do this.
Right. Just kind of roll it in there. I've got that sprinkles on there. Hope you can see that on camera. And then I'm just going to.
So, it's trial and error. I think we like the festive
the
colors,
first one,
but
yes.
I think definitely cherries with stems, much easier way to do this. So
There
you
you
poke
go.
it. We're going to do two at a
Two
time.
at a time.
Two at a time.
Let's just do it.
And just dip it in there into that white chocolate. And it really doesn't matter what the chocolate looks like, because you want to make sure. Here, I'll do a switch with you. Give that one to you.
You're
You
going
want
to
to
the
make sure that
blue
you've got
now.
enough sprinkles or enough chocolate on it so that it covers the sprinkles to your liking.
Oh, this blue is such a nice color, too.
I love the contrast of the blue against
And
the
the
red.
red.
It's just really beautiful.
We've got that one with the blue sprinkles there.
There we go. Do a little fork
Trade.
switch with you.
And I'm just going to go into the rainbow ones because I feel like these are the most colorful and fun.
Yeah, it's really like, what's the theme of your party? If you're doing a holiday party and you've got a specific color theme, or if it's just fun and you just want it to be exciting, it's where you would
Yes.
use the rainbow colors.
We're actually doing ugly Christmas, so I feel like the rainbow, ugly Christmas sweater, sorry.
It would be perfect.
The rainbow ones kind of gives it that funky,
You're right.
groovy holiday
I
spirit.
think we're in a groove now, speaking of.
Yes. I'm going to try to actually do maybe like a half and half
Ooh,
situation.
that sounds fun.
See if that'll work.
And you can serve these, I would recommend after they've kind of set a little bit, popping them back into the fridge or the freezer,
Okay.
because it allows everything to kind of like set together.
Yeah,
I would give it
especially the chocolate.
at least a couple of hours before you decide to serve them. So if you're making them, these are a great make-ahead treat.
Yes.
You definitely do it that
Have
way.
these ready to go and just pull them out of
Yeah.
the fridge when your guests come over.
Just start passing them around.
you'll be ready.
Who doesn't love a delicious little treat to kick off the party?
All right.
All right, we're just going to keep on going here. But really, it's super simple, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You just really need to make sure that you monitor your chocolate. You know, once you've kind of let it melt, which we could let this melt a little bit more, but once it's started to melt, you want to make sure that that heat is lower.
Okay.
And
keep it on a low heat.
Keep it on a low heat. So
Perfect.
max you want to do is medium, and make sure that that white chocolate does not hit the direct source of heat.
Okay.
That's the most important
Yes.
piece.
That's a very important tip.
Yeah, it's definitely a big one. So we're looking pretty good. I think
Yeah.
out of the colors, which one's your favorite?
I like the blue just because of how bright it is.
Yeah, I
and
think
that contrast with the red cherries,
it's
like you
giving,
mentioned.
it's giving Elsa and Anna vibes.
Yeah.
You've got
Yeah, but-
red for Anna, you've got the blue for Elsa. You know, we're just
We're in that winter.
we are in that winter wonderland, especially
are.
here in the Vail
So
Valley.
do that.
But it's
All right.
we're having a blast. So I think we're crushing it.
Yeah. We're just gonna keep going.
We're just
and-
gonna keep going. But in the meantime, save this recipe. 3 ingredients, 4 if you include the vodka.
Yep.
Very easy. But Christmas cherry bombs. Thank you for joining me, Julio.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
Blast having you in the kitchen.
I've got a treat for my holiday party.
Absolutely. Just stick a toothpick in it, put
Yep.
it in the fridge, let it set for a couple hours, and you're good to
We're
go.
good to go. Thank you,
Awesome.
Kat.
Now stay tuned. We'll be right back after this.
Good morning, Vail.
Coming at you from around the world. The biggest names in sports, entertainment, and business.
Here we go.
Yeah, there's no way.
Exclusive access and one-on-one conversations.
Yeah, you guys really did some deep research.
I don't think we should give him any more information.
In depth with Graham Bensinger.
From small towns to big cities and everywhere in between, we're covering the great things that are happening right now in the USA. This is Positively America with Ernie Anastas.
Each week, we're going to focus on the great things that are happening every day in the USA. We'll feature change makers.
In every older person, there's a younger person saying, how did this happen?
Innovators.
I talk about design the way some people might talk about like the person they're in love with.
Doers and dreamers.
You can use that recognition to pay it forward.
Ordinary Americans accomplishing extraordinary things.
When you smile, you receive one back most of the time.
We're going to prove to you that optimism and hope are paving the way to an even brighter tomorrow.
We've got a lot of programs that are specifically focused on the children of our fallen heroes.
At Positively America, our mission is to feature good news.
Good morning, Vail.
We are back with more here on Good Morning Vail, and we are continuing to share some delicious treat recipes that you can enjoy this holiday season. Next up, we have a delicious peppermint bark that Kim and Ross prepared for us in the kitchen. So let's take a look and see all the details on how to make this delicious peppermint bark.
So
So we're back, and we are making my favorite holiday treat, which is peppermint bark. And I love this one because it's actually so easy. You can really throw whatever toppings that you want to. Ross, I know you mentioned you are not a cook.
Yeah.
But if you brought this to like a holiday party or home for the holidays, people would be wowed, and it is the easiest.
Good to know. It looks like it's just 4 ingredients.
4 ingredients, literally that's all you need. We've got, you need to start with your chocolate base. So I love, every time I go to the store, I always buy the Pepperidge Farm Milano cookies. And they do like a peppermint bark one at the holidays. And that's essentially what we're making here. So you've got, minus the cookie piece, you've got, you have 2 different kinds of chocolate. So we usually do it with like a semi-sweet chocolate and then a white chocolate piece, which obviously gives you the peppermint like taste and texture and makes you feel all wintry and fun inside, right?
Love it. Love it.
But the fun part about this is it actually only takes about 30 minutes to get everything set up, but you can make it in the microwave or you can make it on the stove, and we're going to go ahead and start making it on the stove here. So what you would typically do is you'd start with the semi-sweet chocolate, but we're actually, in the essence of time, not going to melt it because you need to basically set each layer, and we just layer it. So it starts with the base semi-sweet chocolate, and then you add the white chocolate on top of it, and then you put whatever toppings that you want to, and we're going with the classic peppermint bark today.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
As you can see, we're not going to melt our chocolate, but what you would typically do just to get it started is you would either microwave it or you'd put it into a double boiler system. So a double boiler system, it's not, you don't actually boil it, but you just want to get things hot. You have 2 layers, and this is usually, you use this for things that are a little bit more delicate. Like if you were melting a cream cheese, you know, I've done this where I've made a white chocolate cheesecake. So we put the cream cheese and the white chocolate, and you basically don't want the delicate ingredients to be directly on the heat. Otherwise it separates it and makes things kind of weird. So you're doing 2 layers here. We've got the pot. We've filled it with about 2 inches of water, and then we heated up that water, and we've put just another piece on top of it. And so it's a nice, easy way to melt things. You know, if things don't melt appropriately, you can add some tricks to it. Or if you're just being lazy, I call this the lazy girl hack. Just take it to the microwave and keep microwaving the chocolate at 15 seconds at a time. Stir it up and make sure it's good to go. But we're going to go ahead and start with our second layer of chocolate. With the white chocolate, you just kind of pour it in there, and you just let it kind of just melt. Typically, you want 16 ounces for this particular recipe of white chocolate. We have about 12 ounces here, but it really doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be exact. And the reason I say that, it's really whatever you want to do to it.
Love that.
Right?
Love that.
So what you would do is you take your sheet pan, you put some parchment paper down, and then that first layer of chocolate, you're going to spread all over it. Since we've already set the dark chocolate piece, we've got the first layer all ready to go over here in the kitchen. So we're just going to switch this up. But you can just literally spread it, and it's nice and hard. And then you would want to pull it out and kind of warm it up to room temperature before you start adding the next layer on. So we're just waiting for this to melt, and it may be done fast enough, but if it doesn't, that's okay too. And you just kind of keep stirring it. It's starting to melt really nicely here, which is really great. So you can kind of see that, right? It's easy trick. You're going to take this home.
That's going quick.
You know, you mentioned your mom was here for Thanksgiving, but if you go home for the holidays, you take this home to her, and she's going to be like, "What? You made this?"
Yeah.
Yeah. So it just starts to melt really quickly, but you don't want it to be too hot. You want it to be just hot enough. You know, if it sometimes you'll start to see the chocolate, like if it gets like weird and kind of separates, you can just add some milk, or I would suggest maybe a little coconut oil or some butter just to kind of keep everything bonded together. So yeah, so we're just going to keep stirring it. And while I stir this is the fun part, and this is where you come along.
Okay.
We've got a bunch of peppermints right now in a plastic bag. As you can see, they're in peppermint shape. But how do you make it so it's edible and you can just bite into it? Lots of fun ways. You can take a mallet, which is my preferred method, or if you've got a rolling pin at home, you can be more gentle, but you just kind of hit it a couple times. But we've got both here just for you to try out and see.
And what's the safety procedure with the mallet in the kitchen?
Don't hit it too hard.
Okay.
Maybe wear glasses, goggles, something to block your eyes.
Make sure no one's behind you.
You know, you should be a little bit gentle.
All right, here we go.
Noise is okay. Yeah, there you go. Or you can try pushing with the rolling pin.
I'm going to try one more. All right. Yeah, we're going to try the roller here.
You know, personally, I think it's fun just to kind of hammer away at it. Yeah.
Is there a blender trick or something?
Just there we go. Yeah. just wet it.
Is this really loud?
You know,
Is this coming through loud?
People love kitchen noises. We are just going at it.
All right.
It's obviously a lot more exciting than me stirring white chocolate as it continues to melt.
Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Ross, I don't know what you're.
Just kidding.
I mean, to me, you look like you're a pretty good cook right now.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
about this hammering
We're halfway
method.
there on these.
So we're doing great. The double boiler is perfect temperature. If you look at our white chocolate here, you can see it's just melting really nicely. I think we're going to add a little. I didn't add the whole bag because I wanted to make sure this was melting just well enough. But we're going to add a little bit more. Looks like I almost put the whole bag in there. And then as we continue to do this, the closer it gets to melting down, the last ingredient, we've got our dark chocolate, our white chocolate, our peppermints, and you mentioned it was 4 ingredients. The last ingredient to add a little bit more flavor to it is the peppermint extract.
Love that.
So we're only adding it to the white chocolate layer. As we continue to stir this white chocolate and you keep hammering away, we are getting after it. I say it's quick and easy, it really is. The only thing for this one is that you've got to put it, each layer has to set for about 30 minutes, and you want to make sure that it's completely cold before you pull it out, just so it gives the layers time to bond together. Otherwise, the white chocolate might separate from the dark chocolate.
I will say, I think this is a great job for the children in the kitchen.
Well, you gotta watch out for little fingers.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, this white chocolate melt is looking fabulous. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. So typically your recipe would be 12 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate, 16 ounces of the white chocolate. We did a bag of 12 ounces, but it really doesn't matter. Again, it really doesn't. And then you're doing about a half a teaspoon of peppermint extract, kind of like I do my vanilla extract. I don't really measure it that well. So we're just going to dump some in. All right. While we are setting this up, I just poured my peppermint extract in. I'm going to mix it all up, and then we'll be right back with the finished product after this. Made it. I'm going to go ahead and pull it out here. You want to make sure that it sets for about 30 minutes, the 2 different layers, so they can really meld together. Now, it doesn't matter what it looks like when it's in whole form because you're going to be breaking it up into pieces. Right. You know, I love breaking this up and then putting it in a really nice, like, Christmas tin so you can give it away as gifts or if you just want to eat the leftovers. But the best way to do this, to break it up into pieces, is to actually take a knife. You would think you want to take your hands and just break it. But if you use a knife, it makes sure that the layers stay together. Because if you break it with your hands, you know, you might get white chocolate and a dark chocolate piece, and then it's not all together. But it's really easy. It just peels right off of the parchment paper like that. And then all you have to do is take a knife. You can just break it in different sizes, and it's delicious. It's pretty good. You did a great job.
Peppermint looks amazing.
I'd say you can see the shine, the sparkle of all the peppermint pieces. But one of the fun things about this too, you can put M&Ms on it, you can throw pretzel pieces, you can put nuts, maybe dried fruit, whatever you want, and just make it a delicious thing. You don't even have to use 2 types of chocolate. So this is just a fun party trick. You can melt it in the microwave if you're not a kitchen person.
Good morning, Vail.
It's time for the best coverage of the top stories in sports. The Sports Wrap with Jason Page starts now.
How do you make Anthony Edwards the face of your franchise if you're the Minnesota Timberwolves? We'll get into that. And we say hello to our good friend Matt Verderam, who hangs out with us from SI.com. Their NFL insider, one of them, is hanging out with us on the program today. Did you see Caitlin Clark last night? She put up a 40-burger. Hits the game-winning 3 as time expires. Let's turn our attention to the Denver Broncos, one of the NFL's most dysfunctional situations.
The Sports Wrap with Jason Page.
Discover the perfect blend of style and performance in your eyewear at Eyepieces. With convenient locations in Vail Village, Lions Head, Beaver Creek, Edwards, Basalt, and Snowmass, Eyepieces is the destination for luxury eyewear and high-performance optics. From iconic brands to the latest in sport frames and snow goggles, we have the eyewear to match your mountain lifestyle. Plus, we offer prescription lens services, including eye exams, custom lenses, and prescription goggles for your mountain adventures. Visit us today to experience the art of vision. Eyepieces, serving the Vail Valley's vision needs for over 40 years.
Hi, it's Julio Garcia with TV8, and we're about to add some extra jolly to your holiday season. Join us for TV8's 12 Days Before Christmas and ring in the New Year advertising specials. For just $250, you can advertise your business on TV8 during the all-important holiday season. We'll run your commercial spot 10 times per day for 12 days. That's 120 spots to help drive traffic to your business. Choose the 12 Days of Christmas or run your ad during the Ring in the New Year special, which starts on December 26th and runs for 12 days. Or better yet, purchase both for just $450. Don't have a commercial? Don't worry, TV8 will help create one from your photos or videos at no extra charge. So don't delay. A deal this good won't last long. Contact the station to reserve your spot, and from all of us at TV8, have a wonderful holiday season.
You know TV8 Vail has great local content, but did you know about our production services? Hire an expert to develop your website reel, commercials, live stream events, studio production, and more. If you can dream it, we can help you do it. TV8 delivers high-quality content in both English and Spanish. Contact us today to discuss your next project. Email Danielle at tv8vail.com or call 970-628-9881.
Good morning, Vail.
This weather report is sponsored by Grand Hyatt Vail.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Fudge is definitely a treat that cannot be missed out on this holiday season, and that can be incorporated into a variety of pastries, desserts, and sweets. Kim prepared a delicious, healthy alternative if you're maybe looking for something a little bit healthier, or if you're maybe wanting to watch your diet during this holiday season. This healthy version of fudge is something you're not going to want to miss out. Let's take a look.
Well, welcome back, and thanks for joining me in the kitchen. And I am so excited about this next recipe because it blends my two favorite things, healthy protein and chocolate. We are making a 2-ingredient fudge. Now, I know you like to be a little bit decadent when you're eating that delicious traditional fudge, but when you are really trying to focus on your health and what you put into your body, this is a really excellent option as well because it's high in protein, and then you've got your normal chocolate. So we're going to compromise a little bit, and we're going with the semi-sweet chocolate chips, but if you wanted to be aware of your sugar content, you can try like the Lily's brand, or Enjoy is also a brand that I really like. They have less ingredients, but we're going to compromise here with semi-sweet Toll House chocolate chips in the middle. And then here's the secret ingredient. We also have low-fat cottage cheese. The cottage cheese is a great blend. It actually is a really good consistency and is a great ingredient that matches with others where it doesn't taste so cheesy. It's excellent to put in dips. It's a great replacement for things, but we're going to use it for our 2-ingredient fudge today. So we've got the chocolate chips and the cottage cheese. What we're going to do is we're going to start with our chocolate chips, and we're going to melt them down because you need it to be nice and melted, and then it gets blended with our cottage cheese in the blender here. So easy, 2 ingredients. We need about 1 full cup of chocolate chips. So you can eye it if you want to, or we can just kind of pour it in here and see what happens. If you wanted to make a half recipe, you do about one half a cup of chocolate chips. Looks like I didn't cut my hole big enough here. So I'm just gonna put this here, just kind of shake it out there, or as my mom likes to do, faster time effort, just rip it open a little bit more. There we go. So we're doing 1 cup of chocolate chips, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. You can melt it really quickly in the microwave, or if you just wanna take your time with it and really feel the process, we're gonna stir it in a pot over medium to medium low heat. You just want the chocolate to melt, you don't want to burn it. So this is a great melting chocolate. Other chocolates sometimes do not melt as well, and you may have to use a double boiler, but we're just going to pour these chocolate chips in here. So we've got 1 cup of chocolate chips. I'm going to move these off to the side, and we're going to let them start to melt down. You want to monitor it just by kind of stirring it. As you can see, it's already starting to sizzle in the pan. We'll lower the heat just a little bit, but we just need it to be nice and melted. And as it continues to melt down, again, you can use a microwave for this, but you just want to be very conscious of the kinds of chocolate chips that you use. Some of the properties in chocolate chips actually have a special ingredient in them that keep them from melting. So let's say you want to put it into a chocolate chip cookie, but you want it to save its shape. You need to be on the lookout for chocolate that actually is meltable. So we'll just stir it down. As you can see, it's starting to melt really, really nicely here. We're going to keep it going. Again, you can just keep this in the microwave if you wanted to. I love the smell of melting chocolate chips. This kind of reminds me of my Saturday mornings with my dad. When I was growing up, he would make us chocolate chip pancakes every morning. I could smell the chocolate chips burning on the skillet, and that's when I knew it was time to get up in the mornings. One of my favorite childhood memories, for sure. Okay, it melts really quickly, as you can see, so you don't want to burn your chocolate. We're going to go ahead and melt this down just like this. It's melting, it looks great. All right, if you have a whisk is a great way to really break up all those chocolate pieces. So it's going to be nice and thick, and that's how we're going to maintain our fudge-like texture. So we're shaking some of this out here. Then I'm going to turn off my stove. Before you do anything, always make sure you turn off that stove. All right, we'll put that down. We're going to take the lid off of our blender here. Now, you can use a spoon or a spatula, and we're just going to scoop all of this deliciously melted chocolate into our blender. Now, again, this is going to be thick, so it's not going to be boiled down. You can kind of see here that it's got this like very thick consistency. It's not going to be liquidy like it would be if it were like a melted chocolate syrup. You know, we didn't add any coconut oil to it. You could possibly add some additional coconut oil to this just to thin it out. But again, fudge isn't thin. We don't want a really thin fudge, and we want this to be simple with 2 ingredients. So getting all that nice and delicious chocolate out into the blender. I know what I'll be doing after this. I'll be licking this pot clean because, man, I love the smell of chocolate, and I like the taste even better. We're just scraping it out. Looks good, looks good. Okay. All right, I'd say we're done with that. We've got a little bit of chocolate residue left, but again, doesn't really matter. This is really to taste. So if you wanted it more chocolatey, you could put a little more chocolate in, but we're going to try to stick to the basics as best as possible. Now, we've got our cottage cheese. You want 1.5 cups if you're making a single portion and 3 cups if you're making double. We're doubling it up because who doesn't want more fudge, especially when it's a healthy version of it. So we're going to do about 2.5 to 3 cups depending on what that looks like, and we're just measuring it out here. And again, it really doesn't matter what brand of cottage cheese you use or what kind of consistency. It's going to get blended in with our chocolate anyway, so no big deal. All right, we're coming up on that 2 cups here, and we'll just kind of put the remainder. Yeah, looks good to me. Awesome. You know what? I'm just going right in. We're going to just put the whole container in because it's about 3 cups in a whole cottage cheese container anyways. All right, scooping it out. Looking great there. Let's add this here. All right. I know you're probably thinking, what, cottage cheese and chocolate? Yes, cottage cheese and chocolate. It's going to be great. You can never go wrong with cheese and chocolate, in my opinion. Now, we'll do that. And then we're just going to blend it together until it's nice and smooth. So it might take a minute depending on the speed of your blender, but we're just going to go ahead and get started. As you can see, it's nice and thick. Sometimes you may need to add a little bit of additional, like we'll add just a little bit of water to it just to make it nice and liquidy. And we'll do that now. Like I mentioned, it will be nice and thick. We're not going to put a ton of liquid in here, but just a little bit, just to get things rolling. You can do water, you can do additional milk if you want to, but we're just going to go ahead and stir that around and get it going in this blender. All right, here we go. And that is it. If you wanted to be fancy, you could probably add some salt onto the top of it. It's going to take some time. It's a slower blender, so it really just depends on, you can see it moving there. Let's see. Let's see. Just pressing all the buttons to get it going. Yep, starting to blend together. Just a little bit. You can see it kind of mixing up there in the bottom. So one of the things that I would do as well is just take your spoon here, help stir it up, help get things going, just like that. Oh yeah, look at that consistency. It's starting to blend together. As I said, it will be thick, so it's just going to take time to get through it. You might have to blend it, or you can always make it in batches if you feel like your blender can't handle that amount. I'm just going to keep blending it. It's looking good. It's slowly getting there. We're working our way down. Switch it up a little bit. Looking great. Let's see if we can stir it up and see what happens here. All right. Yep, blending in, looking good. Oh yeah, there's that consistency kind of getting through that. Again, it's going to be thick, so if you feel like you need to add a little bit more to it, you can. But again, you don't want to add too much liquid, but we do want to keep it rolling a little bit so it starts to blend together. Awesome, looking good. Yeah, we're getting there, slowly but surely. We are definitely getting there with our fudge. So you can do it on like the milkshake setting, that's a good one. You might not be able to see it, but I can see it moving around on the inside here. Just taking its time. All right, I'll put that on high, there we go. Yep, it's just blending slowly. You can't tell on the inside, but it is blending. It's looking good. We're getting in there. Oh yeah, now it's starting to move around with that extra liquid. You can hear it. Looking great. I might take it off and give it another little stir. There we go. We'll take this lid off. Give it another little stir to make sure that the liquid is getting towards the bottom there. And then again, what you want to have on hand, we're going to just pop this in the freezer for a few hours. You want some parchment paper and a glass dish to do that with. We're almost there, looking great. I'm just going to keep on keeping on this stirring action. Oh my gosh, it smells like fudge. I can tell you that. It does not smell like cottage cheese. It is fudge to a T. So I cannot wait to check this out. Here we go. Getting a little bit more to go. Just continuing to blend it and to blend it. So it's a thicker consistency than a milkshake would be. We're getting there. It's just going to take a little bit of time because, you know, this is it's an old trusty blender here that we are rocking it and rolling with here on set. All right, let's take it out. Check it one more time. We've got just a little bit more of those cottage cheese clumps, but you can kind of just see here. Look at that texture. You see that? It just looks nice and blended. So we'll blend it just a couple more seconds just to make sure we get through everything. And then we're just going to pour it into our dish, into our batter, and make sure that we are good to go on it. Oh yeah. Look at how good and thick that is. Just a little bit longer, and we're going to be done with the blend. Our 2-ingredient fudge will be complete. All we'll have to do is pop it into the freezer to make it rock and roll. So we've just got one last round of the blend here. Oh, it looks great, guys. I'm telling you, I'm trying not to take a spoon and just eat it right away. Yeah. Looking awesome. We are almost done. Almost done. I always like to take a peek this way as well. go ahead and say I think we're finished. So before we pour that in, here's a trick. I don't know if you know this trick with parchment paper. We're probably going to need, yep, looks good to me. So what we're going to do is just wet it just a little bit. If you didn't know this trick, it helps kind of crumple it up a little bit better so that you can actually shape it to your dish, which is a fun trick that I just found out about. Thank you to the TikTok and the internet. All right. So our parchment paper looking good in the dish. And this is just so we can easily peel it out of our dish once it's frozen. So we probably freeze it, at least a couple of hours. I would recommend overnight, but it'll be just a delicious little protein, healthy, high treat. We're just scooping all of that delicious chocolatey goodness. Oh my gosh, there is so much of it in here. And we're going to be eating fudge for days here at TV8 and beyond. Awesome. Looking good. You can see that consistency. It's a nice light color. It smells good. It smells like chocolate. We're just going to scrape this out as best we can. All right. I'm about to get chocolate all over my hands, but it'll be something delicious to look forward to at the end of this cooking segment here. All right, there we go. Fudge is done, or at least in its liquid form. We're going to smooth it out just like that. Oh my gosh, it looks great. It almost looks like a chocolate pudding. And you probably honestly could just eat this as a chocolate pudding if you wanted to. Again, if you don't like cottage cheese, that's okay. You could probably sub in some Greek yogurt, or you could do a combination of Greek yogurt and cottage cheese. But again, protein heavy, delicious, not as indulgent or as bad for you as normal fudge, but there it is. We'll just pop it into the freezer and we'll show you the results shortly after. We'll be right back. Now I let my fudge set in the freezer for a few hours. I went about, did my own thing, did a little bit of my laundry and all of that fun stuff if I were making this at home. So we're gonna go ahead and take it out. As you can see, thanks to the wax paper, it comes right out of our glass tin here. And it starts to melt a little bit. We did let it sit out for a bit in room temperature. I'm gonna flip it over just like that. It might not be the prettiest, but we let it sit. It's gonna look great. And that is it. Our fudge sat for 3 to 4 hours in the freezer. We did let it melt or come up to room temperature a little bit more. And you always want to keep it in the fridge, but maybe cut it on a plate that's like this. That's not indented so that it doesn't break in the middle. But oh my goodness, look at that. 2 ingredient fudge. It's got chocolate chips and cottage cheese. I'm going to taste it. Oh my gosh. It's great. This will satisfy my sweet tooth any day. If you want the recipe, let me know and we'll share it with you in the comments.
Good morning, Vail.
Take the first game every one of us played in the schoolyard. Turn up the degree of difficulty to maximum, and then let loose some of the fastest and most agile athletes in the world to go one-on-one in what you have is the most extreme pursuit contest you've ever known. It's intense, it's addictive, and there's only one rule. Don't get caught.
Oh my gosh. If you haven't seen World Chase Tag before, here's how it works.
2 teams of up to 6 athletes compete in a series of one-on-one chases. Each chase lasts up to 20 seconds and has 1 chaser and 1 evader.
Opportunity to points on the board! Oh!
Whoever wins the duel stays on as the evader, and teams get 1 point for each evasion they make.
And it looks like the opening point for this contest.
It's the best of 16 chases to win the match, with a sudden death chase-off required to break any ties. It's win or go home from now on. Don't miss it.
Experience the magic of the season like never before with the Leadville Railroad on our Holiday Express. Gather the family for an enchanting journey filled with dazzling displays of twinkling lights and festive decorations. Create cherished memories that will last a lifetime on this unforgettable train adventure that captures the spirit of the holidays. Booking information at leadvillerailroad.com.
Welcome to Nantucket Rope Bracelets. All of our stylish bracelets are handmade in our Nantucket workshop using only the best non-shrinking line with soft, flexible finish. Find us at nantucketropebracelets.com and order your beautiful piece from Nantucket today.
I'm Danella Richard. I've made a career traveling the world. I've worked for some of the biggest names in travel, and now I've traded in my business suit for a swimsuit. Swimming with the sharks, swinging at the edge of the world, throwing back a few shots, or shall I say spirits. Eating some of the best cuisine, and even making a few furry friends along the way. I invite you to come along with me and discover the world.
TV8, there's more for you on 92. Serving the local community 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Good morning, Vail.
Ladies and gentlemen, with the holiday season in full swing and many people on the road traveling this holiday season, new data reveals that dangerous driving behaviors are on the rise. We have some experts here today to give us some insights and tips on how to keep you and your family safe while you drive this holiday season. Let's take a look.
With the holiday season in full swing and more people hitting the road, it's an important time to discuss the dangers and impact of distracted driving. Joining us now from the Travelers Institute is the Assistant Vice President of Public Policy, Ginny Brzezinski, and from Cambridge Mobile Telematics, Senior Vice President Ryan McMahon. Welcome to the show, both of you.
Thank you.
So, Ginny, I want to start off with you. Travelers released a survey this year and found some troubling data surrounding distracted driving. Can you share some of those results?
Yes, the Travelers Risk Index found a number of troubling things about what's behaviors are going on the road today. A couple of things. 60% of people surveyed said that they were regularly checking emails or texts while they're driving. 25% said they're updating their social media. Another quarter said that they are taking photos or videos while they're driving, and still others said that they are shopping while they're driving. So even if you're not in the group of people that's doing this, keep in mind the people around you are. So you need to not be distracted yourself so you can drive safe.
Absolutely. It is seriously concerning. Having said that, given this latest research, how can families and younger drivers stay safe on the road this holiday season?
Parents need to have that conversation with their new and young drivers about the dangers of distracted driving. And then everybody needs, before they get on the road, before you leave your driveway, get your electronics all set. Set up your navigation, make sure you're set with your podcasts and your playlists so you're not trying to do that while you're driving. Second of all, if you're a passenger and somebody is distracted and your driver is driving distracted, you need to speak up. Don't be afraid to speak up. And thirdly, you can download a setting on your phone, on an iPhone. It's called Driving Focus, and on an Android, it's called Driving Mode. You can download these settings, and this is going to block any incoming messages to your phone while your car is in motion.
This is life-saving advice. Ryan, I want to jump over to you. We understand telematics is helping to identify distracted driving risks. What exactly is telematics and how is it measured?
Thank you. Telematics technology measures risk in what causes crashes. Using telematics, we can understand the real impact of behaviors like distracted driving. The shocking thing is that distracted driving is present on a third of all crashes. A driver's phone is actually in their hand at the time of the impact. And from a risk perspective, the holiday season actually compromises two of the most distracted days of the year, New Year's Day and Christmas Day. So important to know to stay safe this time of year.
So how does telematics work and how does it promote safer driving?
The key to becoming a safer driver and preventing crashes happens by developing safe habits every day. Insurance companies are leading the way here, by the way. 45 million people have opted into insurance telematics programs like IntelliDrive from Travelers. All it is downloading an app from a smartphone, having the ability to get feedback on that individual driving behavior. That feedback also comes with the form of incentives. Hundreds and in some cases thousands of dollars are being provided back to drivers every year that are promoting and showing safe driving behaviors, like not driving distracted, like driving at safe speeds. Those drivers are getting safer every day, but they're also getting money back in their pockets. So it becomes a win-win for both the insurance company, but really for society.
Incredibly important information. Thank you both. Ginny, where can we go for more information?
For more information, you can go to travelersinstitute.org or cmt.ai.
Excellent. Thank you both so much for being here with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Vail.
One of the longest-running syndicated television series is back, America's Black Forum, a weekly series highlighting the latest in our lifestyles, business, entertainment, and finance. We introduce you to entrepreneurs who are making their mark in the business world and leaders who are fighting for change.
Welcome to America's Black Forum.
Tune in each week to know what's happening in our world today on America's Black Forum.
I'm Amy Goodman, host of Democracy Now! Our independent news hour offers diverse perspectives and unique opinions, often unheard in the mainstream media, live as the news unfolds. Tune in for Democracy Now!, the War and Peace Report, weekday mornings at 9 and evenings at 6 on TV8 Vail, Comcast Xfinity Channel 92. There's more for you on Channel 92.
Good morning, Vail.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap for your Monday, December 2nd edition of Good Morning Vail. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. It's been a pleasure joining you in studio today, but remember to tune back in here tomorrow at 8 a.m. for more Good Morning Vail. We're going to have Mountain Pride, Eagle County Animal Shelter, and Starting Hearts joining us to share all the good things they're working on during this time of year. So don't forget to tune back in tomorrow. Until then, enjoy the rest of your Monday, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Have an excellent rest of your day.
Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer